Alrighty, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Steeler Nation Australia. And we'll see what happens if anyone comes in the live chat. It'd be fantastic. Got some questions and answers. Guys, just want to go on a bit of a rant today too about our Steelers, man. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So whether you catch this live now or you catch this I don't know, today or tomorrow or whatever. No, you guys are busy too, but I'm telling you what, guys. Yesterday's hangover. Today's the hangover. Yesterday was awful, like beyond awful, and I got so hyped, like so beyond hyped, to go and beat the Bengals. And I brought up this kind of stuff. I brought up, the Joe Burrow, uh, the Bengals 0-3-0, the pigeon poop on his head. I talked about this stuff. I talked about Adam Rank and Darren Jeremiah and everyone choosing the Bengals. And of course, I guess it is, what was it, 37-30, right? So most of those people are right and I'm wrong, okay? It's hard. Like, it sucks. Like, this is the worst team that I've seen in a very, very long time. Just not fun to beat I guess I've never really experienced this, like, fandom. Like, I can deal with losses. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm a bitch or whatever, but I can deal with losses. Like, it's not like it's a part of adversity. But I guess as a fan base in total, we really haven't seen this direction ever happen. We had Big Ben to always save us. Possibly to a certain extent, maybe the Mike Tomlin thing is right. Maybe Big Ben saved Mike Tomlin, if you put it that way, right? So I'm not saying, we haven't, I can't deal with a loss. I'm just saying it's kind of funny. Like, I've been watching this team for a very long time, and the Steelers have always won. Like, they've always won, pretty much. Even when, they got a chance for the playoffs or they come back in the fourth quarter. The 2004 defense, 2008 defense is fantastic. Those kind of things have always happened and always been in our favor. It's always been good to see. And right now, we're just got a really bad team. And I'm not just saying like that, like it's on the players, but I think of a total perspective as well. It's on the coaches. Like that they lay the foundation. The coaching staff, Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada, Terrell Austin. These are the guys that they're out there to coach their teams. And when they're not doing a good enough job, they need to be called, called out for it. And definitely yesterday was one of those ones where Steelers are 20-17, up at halftime. They get the football back. They're 3-6 at the time. And you're thinking, oh, we have a chance here. Maybe we can get a win over the Bengals. We have a big chance. And it doesn't falter that way. So we've got our first comment, I think, here. Daniel, mate, what's going on? What's going on, mate? The Drunk Turkish Show. Check those guys out too. So I'm just going a bit of a rant today. I want question and answers. Whoever comes in. I know I didn't put the post out too long, so it's kind of a surprise. So I don't know how many people will come in today, but I'm just frustrated. That you go at 2017. That's the worst part. They were very competitive in the first half, I believe. Well, the offense was competitive. The defense was like getting burnt. But I felt like the whole team was in this thing. Coming out of the halftime, they weren't, in my opinion, weren't ready, and they throw a screen to DJ. They get Najee Harris on the run. They throw a pass to Sims. He drops it, and they go 3 and out, I think, 4 times in a row. And collectively speaking, I think over 4 or 5 drives, they had 56 yards in total. Like, you can't win games like that. And the team is a bad team. That's why they gave me false hope last week, and they beat the Saints. I'm like, oh, we can do this. And now we're at the point, like I said in my video today, you can cheer them on to win 7 games and have a chance and a hope. But like, realistically speaking, you have to cheer them on to I think, is game by game. And there are so many faults at play. So many faults on Mike Tomlin, so many faults on the OC, the DC, so many faults on leadership. Every Steeler fan can see it. No matter who you're pointing the finger at, every Steeler fan can see it. Like that's the thing though, and we're gonna go through this too. Like I actually yesterday sucked. I went down the bar, had a beer, I had a big chicken schnitzel, and I kind of felt off yesterday. I kind of felt really off. Like, I felt really shit. I think as well because I did put a lot of effort into my live stream on there On the call, I was really animated. I've still got to do share a clip that I thought was really funny where I spiked the football into a fan. I thought that was freaking hilarious. I didn't know how I did that. I spiked the football facing this way, and it went right up and hit my fan. And I got to share some moments that I reacted to this stuff. But as a Steeler fan, as an organization, you know what? Not even as a fan, even just looking at the organization from the outside in, they're pretty bad. This year, they're really bad. We went and got all the pieces. We went and got Kazi. We went and got all these dudes, right? Got all these dudes, and they're not doing anything with them. That's the problem. They're not doing anything with them, and that reflects on the coaching, reflects on the ownership, reflects on everything. Yeah, 100% Jedi. They're big time. We can move through this. We can get through this. Like, I love this team and I love talking about them and I love running around the country and I love going overseas and wearing my stuff and meeting other Steeler fans. That's why I love this stuff, dude. The countless conversations I've had meeting Steeler fans just by chance has been fun. But we do suck. That's it. If Warren doesn't get hurt, yeah, he's a pivotal point too. When Warren went down, they couldn't convert those three third downs, right? He's a pivotal point to the offense and also a pivotal point to the running game and the receiving game with the running back coming out of the backfield. Najee Harris hasn't got that in his repertoire just yet. He can run the football, sure. He can run straight when he doesn't want to dance, but he doesn't seem to have the hands like Warren does. There was a play, I think it was third down, when he may have got hurt. When he got hurt, he ran for about 14 yards. That was fantastic to see, and he started to pull his hamstring, so hopefully he can get back, right? But we're at the point now, it's like, you know, they don't even have they haven't got the thing is with the Steelers right now, they haven't got a plan, do they? They haven't got a plan that is for, like, once Warren goes down, who's next? They never activate McFarland from the practice squad for some reason. We don't know why. They don't incorporate Benny Snell that much. You know, I'm not saying Benny Snell's the guy. I'm just saying the people who they have, they don't incorporate these roles for these players. They just seem to say, "Oh, we've got Najee Harris, we've got this guy now. That's it." There's no imagination to the offense. There's no imagination to the players actually playing the game. You see Watt in there a few times, but then other than that, you don't see much happening, right? You don't see him used in the run game at all. In the first half, I did like the way the Steelers targeted Muth. I thought Muth had a pretty good game. Freiermuth was probably the outstanding exception on the field. He was one of the ones out there trying and playing and running forward and actually being a Steeler. The other guys, some of the other guys in the O-line, of course, Mason Cole got injured, and then JC came in. He played okay. But these guys aren't standing out to be, you know, the old days of Ramon Foster or Pouncey or those dudes. Nothing feels like that. Like, he was in a walking boot today. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Like, yeah, nothing to me feels like the old Steelers. The last time I think that I've really thought this team, you know, was a complete team or was something about them, I think was 2016 when I was over there. 2016 when I was over living in Canada at the time. Those were some fun games. Those are some competitive games where we had Brown, we had Rogers, like I talked about the other day on the Unofficial Steelers podcast. We had these guys. We had Bell. We had Big Ben. We had a chance in a team. We had the drive and the want to win. And this seems like you're just going through the motions. Yesterday versus the Bengals, you had to play catch up every single time. It was they score, we score, they score, we score. And you can't win like that because you came down to the wire and you tried your best in the last 2 minutes. Your best was that pass almost to Pickens, almost got the TD. And other than that, it just fades away. It doesn't matter. So the thing is now, guys, like I said, and get your questions in there too. The thing is, like, we have 7 games. I will be cheering them on to win every single one. Like, dead set. This is the make or break of all breaks and broken to be braked. Like, there's 7 games left. They have to beat the Colts. I don't care if they win 2-0. They have to beat the Colts or 3-0. If they don't beat them, then you are in almost pretty surefire bad tank mode style. I would never support the tank, but still, I don't think, here's a point too. I don't even think we need to support the tank, if that makes sense. if you are on the other side and say, look, I support the tank. I want to see big high draft picks. I want to see all these draft picks and top 40, top 50, yada 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 yada. Right? There's to a point now you don't even need to support the tank because the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing it themselves, if that makes sense. Tomlin never has this team ready, right? Tomlin never has them ready. In a big game like this, they should have been ready on defense and they should have been ready to go out there and score some points and run away with a victory, right? And all this now stuff with the pigeon power, I'm not even sure if the pigeon turn up, right? As a joke, we don't know. But he seems to be in big games not overly ready. Or like I talked about it last week too in the podcast. You had to back it up. Like you had to back this notion up. The fact that the Steelers went out and played so well against the Saints and had a pretty good game. Kenny Pickett played well. The defense played well. 20-10, no points scored in the second half. And then you play the exact opposite, allowing 37 points or 30 points. And it's just comical how bad they can fall apart, right? How bad they can. And that I heard that too, right? I heard that too. There was reports that Tomlin considered leaving a few years back for TV. I think this is the point. Look, and I will be on this hill until I die. Okay, I will never say fire Tomlin, right? Well, not this year or not the next 2-3 years, because I think he's had such good success, and I'm not just going to jump to that conclusion. However, if it's for the betterment of the team and betterment for Tomlin, that Tomlin would to walk away at the end of the year, and he may have lost his locker room. Maybe he had his chance, or he had the coaching skills, or he was on fire from '09 or Super Bowl victory to the glory years of Tomlin, I guess, when he had all the good players like Vince Williams, all those dudes, Deebo Harrison, had all those guys, Troy. Maybe that was his time. Maybe he's lost connection with the locker room and his style doesn't work anymore. Because obviously the team is like missing leadership big time. Now, if this were to be the case that Tomlin reports consider leaving back a few years, if he were to retire this year, I'm okay. I'm not going to say thank F or thank bloody goodness he's gone. I would hopefully say, well, it's a fresh start. Go and find someone who wants to coach, who has a plan for Kenny, who has a plan for this team, who has a plan for this team to get back into the playoffs and for a run. Because I think as Steeler fans, we don't care who coaches. As long as we see the team winning, that's the thing. And right now, Coach Tomlin's Pittsburgh Steelers aren't winning. That's the thing. But if that was a report and he were to retire after this year, I believe he's got till 2020. I think 2024, I think is when 2024, 2023 is when his contract runs out, I think. But the thing is, like, if they were to say mutual agreement, here it is, coach is like, you know what? I think I'm done. I think I've done my time. And I can't see this direction getting any better. I'm going to leave. And I haven't got the power or the willpower to go through another rebuilding season or whatever. That's fine. They might walk away. But to me, I think you definitely, in some circumstance, you have to put money into the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator because we know what they do. They always hire within. And every Steeler fan around the world right now is pretty much saying, like, they're done. They're kind of like, he is 2024. Okay, yeah, they're done. Like, they're done hearing the excuses. And I'm actually done talking about Matt Canada being awful. And I'm done hearing about fired Tomlin, even though there should be some pressure on him 100%, right? I'm not leaning that way, but there should be pressure on Mike Tomlin because he's losing. That's a fact. Like, he's 3-7. Who have we beaten? Beaten the Bengals, we've beaten the Saints, and we've beaten the Bucks. So we snuck away with the Bengals, and possibly with that Bengals first week victory, we could have lost that game. Okay, the Buccaneers game was good, but the NFC South is not good this year, not at all. But we still have 7 games to go. That's the thing, and I'll still cheer them on. And we're not. Here's the thing that will probably get me. People won't care, but we're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs yet. So I will be hoping and praying to see the Ravens lose every game and for us to win every game. But will that happen? I don't know, right? But what I'm saying is there's still a chance. That's just the way my mind thinks. There's still a little bit of a chance. right? But I don't know. This whole season has been a funny one. In the off season, we thought, Omar Khan's here and Kevin Colbert. Thanks, mate, for your time. See you later. Omar Khan gets some, good, not great pieces, but he gets, Cole in there, James Daniels, and we get Miles Jack, and we're so excited. And we get guys. We shore up the Edmonds deal, stuff like that. We get Pickens in the draft. We get so excited for that. We get Legal, but then he gets injured. Kazi's in there too. All these pieces, all these things. And of course, how it's panned out so far is week one, we're very competitive in that game. They got Trubisky, but he didn't do too much. And then they went on they got 7 sacks and still won the game 23-20 with the Bengals missing the field goal. TJ got injured, Kazi got injured, and everything happens for a reason. It all goes this direction. It's just frustrating how this season has gone. Like, we're 3-7, and we are staring down the bottom of the barrel. And Mike Tomlin's first season, and everything good can also come down to a crashing end as well. It can come down so far. So we've been good for so long, and Big Ben's out, and once Big Ben goes out, boom, we lose. But I don't know. What you guys think. I'm just ranting, but it is very, very frustrating. Ryan says here, this year seems like it's a year of defense. So who replaces him? Because so far he's underperforming. And well, that's the big thing. And look, I don't know. I don't spend enough time, and maybe I should looking around the league. I don't know who even are the defensive coordinators are. But what I'm saying is, like, it's been pretty horrible. And look at yesterday's game. They had no Jamar Chase. Joe Mixon even went out. So had 2 of those blokes out. And the defense can't stop. T. Higgins is a good guy. He's fantastic. But they can't adjust. He got over 150 yards. Someone named Irwin got like 50 yards. The other bloke, who's the other bloke? Boyd got 50 yards receiving. Joe Burrow had 350 and he carved us up. So I don't know who he's going to replace. But it seems like it always frustrates me when we see these teams and the coordinators on both sides that you have a whole week to prepare, and it seems like they weren't prepared yet again. But some reason they were prepared to beat the Bucks. They were ready for that game, and the secondary stepped up. Right, there was when they were missing all kinds of players. No Wallace, Pierre was in there. Right. Irwin's a return guy. Yeah, even he killed us, right? He killed us. There was a big play for Irwin down the sidelines. He killed us. But there was, where was it going? Yeah, the secondary when there was no Bucks, like we had Josh Jackson in there, all those dudes, right? Our secondary guy, the secondary guys, they played a game and they did it. And last week against the Saints, I know it's versing Andy Dalton, I know it's versing the Saints team, but they still stopped them for a whole half without scoring points. And then you get to this big matchup. And shout out to the Bengals, even though I hate them, they still played a good game. They took control. They didn't run Mixon. They didn't run Pirine that much. They ran him like a few times. But they stuck to their game plan, which pretty much Joe Burrow was lining up in shotgun and finding out weak zones or weak spots, right, in the safety or the secondary, and firing the football away, quick, short routes, and getting the ball for 10, 15 yards. They did that effectively and killed us. Absolutely killed us. So, and I did have a lot of Bengals fans come into my comments, of course. And I feel like I've seen more Bengals fans, talking on Pittsburgh Steelers content anywhere around the NFL than actual Steeler fans. It's crazy. I feel like the Bengal fans, they love this. They absolutely loathe this that they beat us, right? Because they have never had success by winning Super Bowls. But the thing is that for our Steeler fans, we've never had, or for me personally, we haven't really had this losing factor for a long time, for a very long time. But we're not out of the, we're still in the woods, we're still in the mud. There's still a chance. If any one of you guys have a question, put it in the chat, and I will answer your question. Pretty much about anything, whatever you want to cover: offense, defense, running backs, injuries, whatever. Draft if you want to, but I don't want to talk about the draft yet. But still, I don't know. It is frustrating. And we have next week a Monday Night Football game, Steelers versus Colts, and you have to win that one. Because if you don't win that one, you're 3-8. And the Colts aren't no pushover, right? They're no pushover. They took it to the Eagles yesterday. The Eagles, what are they? 8-1 now. They almost beat the Eagles. So yeah, it's just really like overall, it's not the season's not over, but we still have 7 games to enjoy. Same time, I won't cheer them to tank because I don't want the season to be over because it's almost like in real life too. It's almost Christmas, and I don't want to hurry Christmas, But this Pittsburgh Steelers team is just it's in a dome. Kenny should throw. I think Kenny can throw anywhere. It's fine. If Pickett gets injured, do we treat the season like the Bears? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they do. I don't know. I don't know what our backup plan is. I think overall the Steelers really stuffed up this whole quarterback drama. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think they should have went possibly just by starting Rudolph and drafting Kenny and maybe getting someone else. But you now have Trubisky that he won't play unless Kenny gets hurt, and they won't play Mason Rudolph. Like they're in no position now to play. They won't play Rudolph or Trubisky unless Kenny Pickett gets hurt. So, right. You possibly could have started Kenny from the start and let him learn the whole season. Or you could have stuck with Trubisky for 9 games and see what your record was, go to the bye, then start Kenny after the bye. But woulda, shoulda, couldas, what do? We're done, right? We're done now. You have to go with what you got. And what we got is learning who Kenny is over the next yeah, exactly. Learning who Kenny is over the next few games and then decide what to do in the draft. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Rudolph is sitting there pretty, man. He's the quarterback number 3 on the roster. And he's in a good spot because not only is he getting paid coin, but he doesn't need to. He's not putting out tape where he looks bad. He's not putting out tape where he looks great. He's just chilling, sitting, waiting for a new opportunity next year. And I believe he's a free agent next year. So teams like the Colts or someone like that might pick him up, or the Commanders might pick him up, as a backup. And then he'll be in contention to fight for the quarterback number 1, right? Even look at the Commanders. They're playing Heineke. They're going with Heineke over Carson Wentz, right? And the Steelers don't do that. They don't change like that super quick. Of course, they won't change the coordinators on the offense now. They won't change DC. They just kind of go for the motions and see what happens. They're very reluctant to change, at the drop of a hat. And that could be a good thing. Look, I trust the process. I really do. But right now, it's hard to figure out what this Steelers team wants to do. Of course, the playoffs are a mile away. Like you're looking over the hill, beyond the river, further than bloody grandma's house. It's like the playoffs aren't even a thought right now. What is a thought is trying to get your team competitive in each game. That should be the thought. Is playing the first quarter, shutting down some of these receivers on the defense. Is getting the Najee ball and running the football more than 5 yards, right? But we've been saying that for like a long time, even with Big Ben, with Matt Canada. All this stuff is like, how much time do you need with the players you have to be great? That's a question. How much time do you need with the players you have right now to be great? You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of good players. You haven't got great players. You have a lot of good players, but the team just doesn't seem to be there. That's what I'm trying to say. 100% backup role. Yeah, he may do that. Dead set. I wish him all the luck. A lot of people shit on Rudolph, and I was like, why? What's the? I thought he was a capable backup. I thought he had a strong arm. I thought he didn't move too much in the pocket, but I thought he knew the offense. He could connect to receivers down the field. I don't know. There was a lot of hate towards Mason Rudolph that probably didn't need to be there. In reality, what's that? Going over Wentz. Oh, okay. So wait. Oh, so if he gets over 75%, they get a better pick. Okay, right. And look, all these things come into it too. There are all the different little politics stuff too. And of course, we saw that with Trubisky. Trubisky was meant to be guaranteed more money if he were to play more games and stuff like that. That's going to happen. That's all kind of the business side. But there's something this Steelers team is missing. It really is. The offensive line is so new right now. Like Dan Moore, Kevin Dotson, they're what, second, third year players. Mason Cole from the Vikings, James Daniel from the Bears. Trix Corfrell, been there a long time, but they're not the guys that we've talked about in the past. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's hard. It's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch this team because you want to see him do good. And in the first half, you saw him do good. You saw Najee Harris run down the football to the end zone, jump into the end zone, right? Jump in the end zone, and you're like, touchdown. You're like, oh, we're back on it, right? Drunk Turkish Show says here, Mason's going to start for the Saints next year. Look, I wish him more luck. I'm not a hate the Mason guy. Mason's first year was better than Pickett's. Well, we've got to wait to see, we've got to wait to see what happens with Pickett. And I don't even care. I'm not even really, I'm not going to compare Pickett to Mason, Pickett to Trubisky or whatever. I just want to see Pickett get better. I believe he is getting better in this offense. He hasn't thrown any interceptions in the last 2 games. He linked up well with George Pickens. He linked up with Muth. But then other than that, they just went away from it, because what I can't stand on the offense, what I really can't stand on the offense is these gimmicky plays in certain situations where they don't make sense. That shovel pass to Gentry, 50 yards out, doesn't make sense. Where's he going to go? Shovel pass play, that's not on Pickett. That's on the coach. Where's he meant to go? He shovel passes it. Boom. Right? Shovel pass to Gentry straight away. All the guys rush in, tackle the bloke. He's done. Doesn't make sense, right? The other play too I found was really comical and stupid was the reverse to Sims, down by 4 points, 7 minutes to go, also around the 50-yard mark after the second half. They reverse him, and it didn't make sense in that point. It didn't make sense at all. Now I like the reverses sometimes, like sparingly. I did like the ones that George Pickens used last week. I thought that was fantastic. It surprised me. It was out of nowhere, right? But some of these plays just don't make sense. Same as the flea flicker. You have a big play to George, and the next minute you run a flea flicker. I was like, what are you doing, right? And who we got in here? We got g'day, Trevor. What's going on, mate? Yeah, just stream for a bit, mate. Just getting this a question and answer show. Getting off my chest. You guys can have any questions you want, and I'll answer them. Fact is, a third-round quarterback, less skill position, is doing better than Pickett's. He's a first-rounder. Yeah, but how can you control that? You can't control the where he's chosen, man. What do you mean? You're talking to the wrong guy, and I can't wait till I show, bro. You're talking to the wrong guy. Like, I'm not picking. I'll tell you what now. To me, foundationally speaking, it's the coach, offensive coordinator, and then it goes to the players. The offensive coordinator is giving Kenny Pickett the worst chance to succeed. That to me is end point, right? Like, and look, you do bring it up though, right? Pickett's accuracy is worrying, of course, right? He can try and get better. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback out there, but when you give the guy a bad playbook and a bad offensive coordinator, that is Matt Canada, it all starts from there. Got to give the guy another chance with someone else coming in who's going to hone his skills. But they played well against the Saints. They played really well against the Saints. They ran the ball effectively. Even Kenny Pickett got out on some runs and was firing the ball with accuracy. Sure, he overthrew some players, but that's part of the NFL too. I'm just kind of done on this hating on Pickett, man. Just see what can happen after a year. And you can't compare him, in my opinion, you can't compare him to Mason Rudolph, right? What they probably should have done. Here's what they probably should have done. In all reality, if we can go back, all right, to the very start of the offseason, this is why I found it funny. If you wanted to draft Kenny Pickett, go and draft him. Go and get it done. Sure, get the guy, right? Get him wherever you want to get him. They probably should have started Mason Rudolph. The fact is, though, so many Pittsburgh Steeler fans laid shit on Mason Rudolph completely. They never gave the guy a chance. If you wanted to make this year the rebuilding year, you play Mason Rudolph. You don't even worry about getting Trubisky. Or if you go and get Trubisky, you tell Trubisky that he's second and not first. That's what you say. You say, we're going with Mason Rudolph. He's our guy this year. You draft Kenny and you tell the media, you tell everyone and say, you know what? Kenny's going to be on the bench. We're not going to play Kenny the whole year. The order's going to be Mason Rudolph, and we have our backup in Trubisky, and Kenny's going to be our future guy. We're going to bleed him in the way it is. Then you have there's no rookie problems. There's no interceptions. You're playing a guy, the Mason Rudolph, you know who he is. And if you play the same stinking way anyway, you end up with the same result, 3-7 or 2-8. That's where they should have went. But they fucked up. They went and got Trubisky, and they played him in. He sucked, and they had to throw in Kenny because they couldn't go to Mason Rudolph at that point. And now they'll never go to Mason Rudolph, right? It doesn't make any sense. I think the media, I think the fans got into to the organization. I think also the bigger politics of like, what sells more jerseys? Kenny Pickett sells more jerseys than does a Mason Rudolph playing at QB number one. I think all these things come into it, right? I think they should have, in reality, they should have just played Mason Rudolph as number one and see what could happen and get a quarterback number two and fight this year out and see what would happen throughout the whole duration and probably never play Kenny Pickett. But guys like me and guys like Steeler fans were yelling out, Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. And now, after some adversity and some losses, where the fuck are we? We're in the same position we were at the start of the season. We're zero. We're nothing, right? Because every single Steeler fan was yelling for Kenny. And the minute that he starts to lose, we say he's a bust. And that's the problem, man. That's why I don't like it. I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of it that we give up so early when we know that one of the common problems of this whole Steeler team, one of the big problems is Matt Canada. We all know that. That's the big problem right there. And of course, another problem is Coach Tomlin too. Big problem. He hasn't got his team ready for years and years and years. It hasn't happened. I'm just kind of over. You have the easy scapegoat right now is to pick on Pickett because he's a rookie guy. He's not playing well. But even if you get rid of him or say he's a bust, to me, this is a bigger fault. Just by choosing one player or a quarterback isn't going to fix this team. There's something wrong with this culture. And it started from, in my opinion, 2016, 2017, when they lost that playoff game against the Patriots. From there, something has changed. The guys don't care anymore. I thought it might have been Claypool being a bit of a cancer locker room, the TikToks, right? The team doesn't care. Overall, they're so skillful. A lot of those players are very skillful. Miles Jack, all these dudes, Minka, TJ Watt, so skillful, but they're not coming together as a unit. And it's bigger than just laying the smackdown on Kenny Pickett and say, he's a bust, he's the worst, he can't do this. When in reality, they should be giving him the defense and the run game and all these guys who have been there a few years should be helping out Kenny Pickett, not laying shit on him saying he's crap, right? He's not doing anything, right? It doesn't make any sense. And of course, there are guys out there like DJ. Even Kenny said that DJ wasn't getting targeted enough. He wasn't getting moving around. To me, fundamentally speaking, it comes from the offensive coordinator who's meant to coordinate the whole thing. And his offense is 32nd worst in the league. It starts with him. Starts with the playbook. Starts with those kind of mannerisms and those kind of things where the Jermaine Pratt came out and said we knew exactly what they were going to run. So they went out and executed and they stuffed them up. The Bengals knew what they're going to run. The opposing teams and you and I at home know exactly what they're going to run. We've seen it all before. They go in motion for no reason. It doesn't work. They hand the football. They shovel past a Gentry or they do the reverses or these fucking weird fucking things. When in reality, you just want to see them expand the football down the field and target George Pickens over the top if you can. That one did work. That Kenny Pickett, we have to be 32nd, Ryan. I think we have to. With something like that, right? But that big pass to George Pickens over Mike Hilton, the size difference of that could because Matt Canada doesn't know how to use his skillful players over the opposing defense. I'm pretty sure, from what I know from being here in Australia, so far disconnected, right? I reckon that Matt Canada doesn't scheme against the opponent. He more or less tries to does his thing, and his thing doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And then, of course, right? Of course, his defense, the defense is even worse. The defense has all these stars on it, Kazi and all these dudes and TJs and all these dudes, and they allow 37 points in your home. Fundamentally speaking, it's from the coaching and the players down that this locker room, it's lost. Like Cameron Hayward can't fix this. TJ Watt can't fix this. This something needs to change, and we've been saying it for so long. I'm not saying fire Tomlin, but you could come back to that and say, if Tomlin walked away and go, you know what, my time's up. You go, okay, let's go find someone else. We'll figure it out. Because right now, Tomlin's guys aren't getting it done. They're not. There's no one. It's just beyond frustrating, right? I've been in the stadium, watched all 22. Yeah, but look, I'm not. To me, it's too early. And I know you had this conversation with Nate the other day. To me, it's too early to say that he's a bust or not. And I don't think, you know what? Here's the point. If say he is a bust, right? Say he's a bust. We go and get another quarterback. So you're gonna have Kenny Pickett on the roster and you're gonna have another quarterback. I don't think the Steelers are gonna do that. I don't think the Steelers are gonna go and get two quarterbacks. Plus, possibly, what will they do with Trubisky? What will they do with Rudolph's probably going to go away? Why would you go and get another quarterback? So back-to-back drafts, in your first pick, you to me, you have to go the O-line, or you need some spark player on the defense to build this team back where it used to be. Run the football, short passing game. Don't pass the rock more than 30, 35 times and see where you go. I'm just telling you, fundamentally speaking, the coordinator frustrates me, and it frustrates Steeler Nation. It's not just on Kenny Pickett that he can't throw the ball deep. If he can't throw the ball deep, throw the ball short and scheme it that way. But he doesn't do that. They throw the ball too short. They throw the ball in screens. They throw the ball in scenarios you're like, what are you doing, right? And even they don't allow him to test the defense. It was 3rd and 25, and they ran a draw play. At least test the defense. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I believe they are 30. They're probably something like that, right? 2003 was 6-10, 15-1. Big one was you're only good. No, I disagree. There's other players on the team as well. Big Ben was the guy for us. Yes, Big Ben won Super Bowls, but you're as good as coaching. You're as good as defense. You're as good as everything else involved. And right now, this team has it. If you're laying everything on Pickett, I can't see that. If the whole failure of this season is on Pickett, I don't see that. I think that's a silly take, to be honest. Why would you lay everything on Pickett? The defense sucks too. TJ Watt being out, there's no plan for TJ Watt being out. This team, in a nutshell, is just infuriating to watch, and it's like it gives you a bit of hope, and then it doesn't. That's what is annoying, and to me, it comes down to coaching, and even my mate Michael, he's been telling me that I'm going to go to the dark side. I'm going to go to the dark side and support the idea of getting rid of Tomlin. Now, I'm not saying I'm doing that, but it's tempting. It's tempting to go that side, right? Pickett's a rookie. The O-line is dismal. The defense is overpaid. There you go. Look, that's in a nutshell. But I'm not saying I'm going that way just yet. I'm just saying overall, it's frustrating. It's beyond frustrating because you had the 20-17 and you can win the game. You can win that game if you want to, and the players don't want to. Right? That's why. So to me, the Pickett is awful. He can't throw. His hands are small. He can't throw outside. I think that's crap. It's all crap. Like, let him play. The point is, the Steelers put him in this position now, right? They probably stuffed that. What they should have done was played a veteran quarterback probably the whole year with a backup, made Kenny the third one, and then no Steeler fans will be talking about Kenny at all unless those two quarterbacks stuffed up. And to another degree, it doesn't matter who the fuck we put at quarterback. It doesn't matter who we put there because Steeler fans, no matter who it is at quarterback, if he fucking sucks, they will cheer someone else to get in. That's what happens. That's why we are spoiled. No matter who we put there, if it's Mitchell Trubisky, if it's Kenny, if it's Rudolph, if it's Duck, it doesn't matter. If it's Big Ben near the end, it doesn't matter who we put there. If they suck and they stink or the team's losing, then we always go for the next guy. That's instant gratification. We always go for the next guy. I'm going to ride it out and cheer Kenny on to see what can happen with Kenny. That's what I'm going to do because I believe he can get better, and he has gotten better over the last two games. Najee did look good. I agree. I think something would help Pickett would be a good running game. Big time. We saw that. We saw in this offense that Kenny versus the Saints, the run game was over 200 yards. Warren was going off. Najee was doing things, and it helped the offense, and it helped Kenny's confidence too, right? Seen the team now pretty much, and I think I can go down another rabbit hole. I really could go down another rabbit hole. I think the sport has changed. I think the sport overall, the NFL sport, with the money coming in for these guys and the amount of support that we give them is kind of ludicrous. To a certain degree, I'm a bit crazy because we do cheer and support our team on, but these fellas get paid multi-millions of dollar contracts and they don't care. A lot of them don't care who wins or loses. Now, I'm not questioning over every single player, but a lot of players' effort on the team, they're just there to walk and turn up, right? You saw Malik Reed out there. I believe he was out there yesterday. Did you see him in the back of the field? No. When TJ went out or Heisman went out, you saw Jameer Jones in there. Did you see him in the backfield? No. Just going through the motions. Only some players overly care, and because they get paid so much money, I believe that the game has changed from the 70s, 80s, 90s. It's just a matter of fact because they get paid so much money. That's just the way it is, right? And this team right now, they don't care. They honestly do not care, right? The players, there are small amounts of players on this team, maybe like a Frymouth, maybe like a TJ Watt or Cameron Hayward, who do care. A lot of them there are just getting the paycheck. That's a fact. What does Pickett do? What does Pickett do compared to the? See, I don't even care. I don't even care. Look, I'm just watching him play. I honestly don't care what he does to the other division. In the other quarterbacks in the division, Joe Burrow was pretty bad his first year. Lamar Jackson, of course, he can run. He can run the ball. I don't even care. You can have all 22, mate. I don't understand. I don't understand why you're picking on Pickett so much. Like, what's the vendetta? It's almost as bad as picking on Rudolph. Like, even if he's this terrible, right? You still have to give him time. You have to give him time for this year, and that's why I'm saying they might have stuffed up. Right? Give him time over the next 7 games, and then see what happens. If he goes out next week and throws 3 TDs, then where's the all 22? I think Pickett has been playing well enough over the last few games to give the Steelers a chance to win. But you come out in this offensive scheme or this coordinator is frustrating to watch. And the foundational wise, no matter who plays this offense, it's going to suck. The quarterback's going to suck. I'm telling you that. The team, it sucks like that. It does. I said that too. I said he sucks. I feel honestly goodness, I feel like I'm trying to be a troll, man. Like what? I can't handle it. The thing is, overall, in a nutshell, the thing is, in my opinion, it starts with Tomlin. It starts with that Canada, and then it kind of falls away. Like we have players on this team, Pickens, all these dudes. We have all the players, right? We have them. But if you don't call successful plays or scheme a drive to go down the field, a lot of the problem should fall on you, right? Of course, if Pickett's throwing the ball deep over people's hands and not getting there, sure. These are rookie woes you go through. But at the end of the day, to start the game, planning your team to get for a victory falls on the offensive coordinator because he coordinates the offense, and they're not doing that. He's doing a shit job. So, and I've said that. I wasn't a fan of Trubisky. That's why I said I thought they probably should have went. The amount of hate that Rudolph got boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. No, but you've been saying it for the last few days. You've been saying this. Pickett. And you're saying he hasn't got the arm and this kind of stuff. I see that. I don't even care. I don't even care if he hasn't got the arm. Like, I don't care. I just want to see this team be successful, and they're not doing that with his offensive coordinator, right? He made a good throw. If he hasn't got the arm, then you can't blame the arm on Kenny Pickett in that last pass where 2 Bengals defenders clashed into each other. All George had to do, George ran down the field. He's a receiver. He's a big receiver. He ran down the field, and he should have caught that ball. Now, the TD wouldn't have made a difference. The TD was in garbage time where, for some fucking reason, the team wanted to go out there and play hard in the last 2 minutes. And the whole offense opened up in the last 2 minutes. It was firing the football down the field. Now, is that on Kenny? Is that pass on Kenny that went over the top, perfect position, and George Pickens dropped it? It's mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling. It can't be on Kenny. It starts with coordinator, and it goes throughout the whole team. It goes throughout the receivers, the O-line, the blocking schemes, the run game. You don't put Kenny in here to go win you a Super Bowl. Kenny's in here to learn and get better and hopefully have a better second year. And what you would hope to see is if they were to do well this year to go up above 500 would be to run the rock and play good defense. And they just haven't done that all year. The defense, the front four can't get to the quarterback. TJ goes out and the team goes missing. Secondary wise, they're done. They're toast. That's what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, there was a great pass. It was a fantastic pass. My opinion is Tomlin, if he doesn't change, hang on. My opinion is Tomlin doesn't do a 180 and turn things around. Yeah, no, I hear you 100%, right? I'm not that guy. I'm not saying fire him yet, but the seat is definitely warm. Okay, the seat is definitely warm. For sure. My point is not having a French Cuba 2017. How do we blame coaching on play calls? That's cutting. Yeah, but Ben's a good quarterback. I agree with that. Ben's a great quarterback. But even then, last year, even then with the offense was still hard. I think you're drawing to the notion that the quarterback problem is the main problem. And I don't agree with that. The main problem with me seeing this team is the offensive coordinator sucks. Like it is not a foundational piece to win games, right? Focusing on two good plays down the field is. Well, there was also one as well. There was one to who was it? To Muth. That was a good play too. There are some good plays with and it was also the feed to Warren, right? I don't understand. I reckon, dude, you must be team hate Kenny Pickett or something. I'm telling you. Why are you focusing all your energy on hating Kenny Pickett when he's a rookie? And there are much bigger problems, I believe, in this team, like not just on the quarterback, all over the shop, like the run game, everything. There's so many different holes you can pick, and you're focusing like Tom Brady, laser focus on saying this guy sucks. He's the worst. He can't do this. He can't do that. Right? We got him now. You kind of have to go with it. You can't do anything else. The QB is just fine. They said something about Tua. I'm honestly, goodness, you're the only bloke, Daniel, mate. The only bloke I know in this Steeler thing so far, in all the podcasts I watch, that's hammering down on Pickett. And if you're right, you'll be right in 7 games. But the thing is, you have to stick with him for 7 games, no matter what. The point they put in now is you have to go with Kenny Pickett right now. You have to. You can't do anything else. They've got to scheme around him, right? If what you're saying is correct and why isn't, I'm not. This is okay. I'm not even talking about McDaniels. I'm not talking about these other dudes. I'm just simply this factual evidence right now. Factual evidence is if you can say that the Matt Canada offense is great, then yes, it's on Kenny. If the Matt Canada offense is fantastic and a good offense, then yes, it's on Kenny. But you can't say that. You can't say that the Matt Canada offense is great, right? You can't say it because foundationally speaking, the offense philosophy is awful. How are you not prepared coming out of the second half? And your first play coming out of the second half is a receiver screen to DJ, which goes -1 yards. That's on coaching, right? And the players can only do the best of their ability to see what they can do inside that offense. Okay, they need to get better, and they're not doing that. You have to give him time. Michael says here we run a Pee-wee off with 10 plays. Exactly right. We run 10 or 15 plays. Jermaine Pratt came out yesterday, and I had this tweet. Wrong one. Jermaine Pratt came out and said, just settling down. It was us giving them plays. We knew what they were going to do. The Bengals linebacker said we knew what they were going to do. They like to do the same plays over and over, right? And of course, Kenny Pickett is the extension of this offense, and Kenny Pickett will get blamed as soon as he has a bad game, right? But it can't be all on him. You can't put the whole pressure on him. I don't get that. All right. Even DJ says here, Pickett says here that they weren't letting him get singled up. Frustrating when a good player and talented like DJ, right? They try and take him out of the game plan. Maybe move him around more and get him in different spots. Pretty much Kenny Pickett is saying to the coach, you're not scheming DJ enough. That's what they're saying. So I'm just done. It definitely is a true heel, man. If you want to play both sides, like on the unofficial Steeler podcast, I just don't see it. I know we can't agree on everything, but obviously your narrative within this season is saying Kenny sucks, and I'm saying give Kenny time. Me and Nate both agree when we get on tomorrow, it's going to be fun because Like, I just don't see it. I see, fundamentally speaking, his offense sucks, and that's where it's at. And you're right, he's playing a true like, and that's it. This is why it causes problems, because our team does suck, right? We haven't seen Matt Canada's offense yet. We've seen QBs. What do you mean we haven't seen Matt Canada's offense? Are you joking? We have seen his offense. We saw Claypool throwing the football to Derek Watt. Dude, we've seen his offense. We know what it is. His offense is doing the shovel pass to Gentry. We've seen his offense for two years now, right? And I've been down this route before. If I go into where is it? Not points per game. Let's do maybe yards per game. Where is it? I can't find it. I'm on the spot. But we've seen his offense, man. We've seen it. We've absolutely seen it. Yeah, exactly. I don't get it. I think you have to, at a certain point, is give Kenny time and give Kenny 1 or 2 years and try and build around him. If he's not the guy, then you move on. You know what I mean? I don't say you should do that. Mike says, say Thomas sucks, but look, no, I'm seeing it, man. I see it. I've been saying that Tomlin's my guy, and I see that. I see what you're saying now. The team is never prepared. The team is never ready in these big games. They should have went out there and won this game from halftime. There's no cutthroat mentality. There's no punch him in the head mentality where you're going to go out there and fuck the other opponent up. You just don't see that. There's no as much as Tomlin talks about you do not seek comfort, he seeks so much comfort in these losses. Every single thing is exactly the same. Exactly the same time. They go, you know what? We'll get him. We'll get him next week. We'll get him this. We'll get him that. Yada yada. We'll do this. We'll do that. Blah blah blah. It's the same rhetoric over and over and over. So I see your point. I might not agree with the whole fire Tomlin, but I see your point of that direction of like, okay, he's on the hot seat and we haven't been performing because the team hasn't been performing since 2016. It's been going down, 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 down. And we haven't won those playoff games. But I still think that, in my opinion, that Tomlin does give us the best chance to win, and we need to go through the adversity. But there are so many other things besides just that one thing. And that's it. I'm not saying Kenny sucks. I'm saying Kenny's average. And then well, that's all right. If he's going to be average, well, you know what? I don't believe you can say. I don't believe that you can judge someone being average after only 6 games, 7, 8 games. That's it. Your opinion is projecting him to fail, basically, right? My opinion is projecting him to get better. That's in a nutshell, big time. I can't handle it either. I've seen almost two years. 2 years of Canada. It's 1 or 2 a game's fine, but in certain scenarios, what are you doing? I don't know. I have no idea who that is. I don't know who that is, but I have to Quantrell Bishop. I have no idea who that is. I have to look that up. Is he a player? How can you say you've seen this over 2 years? Because we have. We've seen the exact same thing. The common denominator, if you were to pinpoint in a lineup of people and say who's the biggest problem for this offense, right? I'll put a poll out. I'll put a poll out straight after. Who's the biggest problem for this offense? You'll get about 80% will say Matt Canada. That's what I'm saying. Being out coach, I agree with that. But here's the point: you're playing woulda, coulda, wouldas, all right? You're playing woulda, coulda, shouldas, right? He didn't get 5th rounder; he got 1st, and now we have to deal with it. Now we have to deal with his progression, and he's getting better for sure. William says the Steelers organization have one of the best OCs in the league. We shouldn't have been associated with a guy. Exactly. They should have paid more money. They should have went out and got someone else. As you can probably hear, my fucking someone's mowing. Can you hear that? That's telling me to get off. Someone's fucking mowing. Unbelievable. But we should have won that. But I think I've said my say. Obviously, me and you, Daniel, don't agree, right? My opinion is only going to get better because he's close to. So I can't have that opinion. I won't even think that way. The way I see Kenny Pickett is that he's a rookie and he's getting better. You can always get better, right? I don't want that to run around on my head because their overall problem, if you say what's the biggest failure on this offense, it's Matt Canada, 100%. I'll put a poll out straight after, and we'll see the results. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Ben came into the league. He wasn't the best guy either, right? But he had a team around him, had the defense, he had the run game, he had all these things going on. Left side. Yeah, can you guys hear that? Oh fuck, man. How can you hear that? How many teams? 80% of coached a team professionally. That's what are you talking about, man? 80%. Mate, half the people on YouTube haven't even played football. Viewers all content creators like myself, like yourself. Half of us haven't played football. Fundamentally speaking, the play calling is abysmal, and everything reflects from that. Like, come on, man. What are you talking about? Unless something changed the Steelers' way. Yeah, exactly right. They need to get better. They need to go and hire out some competent people who can accept responsibility and design a game plan that actually goes out there and formulates something. That's why it's frustrating because time after time you've seen it in this offense with Canada. It's the things in motion don't work. Even Noah Struckbarn from All Steelers Talk, he's on the ground. He went and watched them and he talked with other reporters, and they were saying the motion doesn't mean anything. You send a guy in motion doesn't mean anything. He wasn't giving players certain ability to change audibles, right? They weren't doing that. And Coach Tomlin trusts in Matt Canada enough, and they think they need to get better in little parts, like little parts. But the little parts aren't good enough. They're just not good enough right now. It does need to a certain extent an overhaul, a new fresh face. And if that fresh face is Canada saying see you later, then fantastic, right? If that fresh face is firing Tomlin, then go and do it, then get it done. But I just don't think how so much energy or pressure can be on a rookie quarterback. He's not the savior. He's the guy that's meant to get better every week. And then around that, we should have built the run game. Probably should have went out and got a better free agent at offensive line. I'm just mind blown that the amount of pressure putting on Kenny Pickett is existing right now for a guy that he's not going to turn the organization around this year, right? Give him time to go this year, possibly next year, build around him some draft picks, get a better offensive line, and of course, a better offensive coordinator. Exactly right, man. Exactly right. Canada thinks his system is greater than the players. He doesn't want to create a game plan. The personnel he has is fantastic. If you were to put Freiermuth on the Chiefs or Freiermuth on the Bills or George Pickens on those teams, they would excel. And he doesn't target them. And of course, drawing the play up, you have to give back to Kenny Pickett. He's got to go through his motions, right, and target these players. But it also comes back to Kenny Pickett has to make the right reads, but it comes back to coaching as well. That's what it is. So what? He's got a weak arm. But still, you still have to let him play. It seems like I'm telling you, man. The whole narrative is you're saying that Kenny's shit, and they got to go. They pretty much you're saying Kenny's shit, and they have to go find someone else. That's what you're saying. And what I'm saying is maybe Kenny is shit, but give him time. What the fuck, man? You got to give the player time. Like I said, if we keep doing this, you'll send everyone crazy. If you say he's shit, this guy's shit, he's shit, you keep going, then the next guy comes in. Who is it? CJ Stroud? What are you going to do with CJ Stroud struggles? When CJ Stroud gets into the organization, then you say he's shit. It never stops. Whoever's at quarterback is at fault with Steeler Nation. That's the thing. It's annoying. Play football, shooter coaches, exactly. Look right. Tua's going off. Tua's playing some good football right now. You look at Jalen Hurts. Everybody was on Jalen Hurts' nuts last year. I picked up Jalen Hurts on my fantasy team, and he's doing fantastic. He's playing some good football, right? I'm not saying that Kenny's these guys. I'm just using him as the example for being the rookie. Fucking what has Kenny played? How many games has Kenny played? Let me have a look. What's he played? 7 games? Is that right? I think he's played 7 games. How can we judge a quarterback playing 7 games? How can we not go through the adversity of someone who's played 7 to 8 games? Right? Kenny Pickett, and I'm not saying he's the greatest either, right? Kenny Pickett has played 7 games or 6.5 games. He has 155 completions, 237 attempts, 65% completions, 1,426 yards, 6.0 average. Sure, that's pretty bad. 3 TDs and 8 interceptions, 36 longest, 20 sacks, QBR 43. It's a rookie. What do you want to do? Alrighty, coming to the end. Yeah, big time. I hear that. Tua has fast receivers, and yeah. So we can't put it all on Kenny then. Well, you know what, mate? If he's average, then that's fine. If he's average now, that's fine. This team, in my opinion, you don't need a guy to be, of course, you're never going to find a Big Ben in a long time. If Kenny's that guy to be average, then everything around that. If he's average, if you're saying he's average, and everything around Kenny needs to be gold. And it's not gold. Offensive coordinator sucks balls. The offensive line sucks balls. The receivers, like Claypool when he was there, sucks. DJ doesn't want to play, right? Pickens is trying, but he's still a rookie too. Everything around Kenny, there's no pieces around him. He's just a rookie playing the game. All right. Dolphins have a legit offense, head coach finally. Yeah, big time. Tua has Tyreek Hill. If Pickett had Tyreek Hill, look, I'm telling you, I don't understand where the Kenny hate comes from. The minute that we lose the game, there is the notion of so much Kenny hate goes towards him, when in reality, the blame or the failure should be spread out throughout. The blame with this team should be spread out throughout. And foundationally speaking, it's from the top to the bottom, and the players get involved too. Not just honing it on one person because he can't throw deep. But he did throw deep, and he's getting better. He didn't throw these interceptions. And some of those 8 interceptions aren't even on Kenny. The first one was on Claypool for sure, right? Some of them aren't on Kenny. Some of them were on DJ that he pushed up like a volleyball, reverse spike, and it went up in the air. They're not all on Kenny. He's played seven games, and that's a good question, right? I don't think Mahomes had. No, I don't think he did. The thing is, that's why I said if you were to start, right? If they went with the idea, and Kenny Pickett would say he was still drafted, you could have went with Rudolph the whole year. You could have went with Trubisky the whole year, and you could have saved the pain until next year of evaluating Kenny Pickett. But even evaluating Kenny Pickett right now after 7 games and saying he's crap or average, he's a fucking rookie, man. That's what it is. The young coaching has surpassed. What? The young coach has now surpassed. Yeah, I know what you're saying. When you say Jarvis, yeah. What? When you say Jarvis Jones, not saying you hate him, but couldn't you tell he just wasn't a guy? Wasn't a TJ Watt at quarterback? I don't understand your question. Formulate your question better. I don't understand what you're saying. Do you think South Park? Yeah, dead set. They should blame Canada. 100%. 100%. Exactly right. Mahomes had the luxury of in his first year had Alex Smith, and yeah, we didn't. Trubisky was ass. So Trubisky was ass, and they were almost forced because he was playing so bad, and also involving this stupid offense with Canada. They were playing in that way, and they pushed that direction where they had to go to Kenny Pickett, right? So Mahomes had. I agree, man. Look, I'm telling you, you can have your opinion, but I think a lot of us would disagree with it. You got to see what you have in Kenny Pickett, not bash the guy after 7 games. And I can't wait for tomorrow's show. We'll be doing tomorrow's show on Daniel's channel, Unofficial Steelers Podcast. We'll be doing, look out for this logo. So we'll be doing, if you guys hear this sound, we'll be here tomorrow on Daniel's channel.
Welcome to the Unofficial Steelers Podcast. The podcast so unofficial, it doesn't have a...
Because you're going to get the same view from me and the same view from Nate, because I don't understand what you're saying. No, No, you know what we have on? We have that Matt Canada is a piece of shit. That's what we have, mate. It's not black and gold goggles. The reason is that Matt Canada is a fucking awful coordinator. That's what we have on. Not the fact that we have black and gold goggles on. Yes, I am biased, but I have never seen them struggle like this. And to me, it comes back to the coaching and Kenny's getting time. I can't wait until Kenny proves you wrong, man. You say he's average, you say he's the worst, but you haven't brought up anything else. You haven't brought up the fact that Claypool wasn't a top 3 receiver. You haven't talked about the O-line. You haven't talked about DJ checking out on routes. You haven't talked about that maybe Najee Harris is going through a bad time. You haven't talked about the offensively speaking that Matt Canada can't design anything. He's the worst coordinator in the league. And that's foundationally speaking, that's where it starts. Kenny Pickett is getting better and better each game. Slightly better each game. Yeah. Does my head in, man. I've never seen it. You can have an opinion. I'm not saying that. You can have an opinion. I just can't believe how you put your foot down so hard on this Kenny Pickett thing after 7 games. It's been 7 games. 7 games. Remember that. What's that? How many quarters is that? Like fucking 40 quarters, something like that. It's been 7 games, right? And we've got to see what happens. And if this Canada system is limiting Pickett's success, okay? You can have the best player in a really bad offensive system, and this is it. And if Pickett's an average player or good player, he's been limited his success. And I can't judge him until someone else comes in and takes over and revamps the whole thing and changes everything and gets back at where they should be doing, running the football. Oh, it's crazy. I can't wait till tomorrow, man. I'm sorry. You've now dug your hole, Daniel, mate. You've dug your hole in this Pickett mess, and now you have to work your way out. A lot of Steelers fans are still behind Pickett. And yes, he's not the best quarterback, but he gives us the best chance to win out of probably these 3 at the moment. Saying that. See, look, I'm not even to this example. I'm not worried about NFL. I'm not worried about Tom Brady. I'm not worried about my homies here in this. What I'm worried about is, offensively speaking, this team is bad. That's what it is, right? And you have to give you've got to give him time. Give him time to mature and see what happens. I'm all about seeing what's going to happen next. I'm not going to throw him under the bus and say he's an awful quarterback because he's got 3 TDs and he's got 8 interceptions. Also, he has 3 TDs on the ground too. He's made some good moves on the ground. I'm not saying he's done and dusted, average arm, done over. I'm saying, fundamentally speaking, the offensive coordinator needs to do better. But I agree with Noah too. I agree with Noah 100%. We are frustrated, man. The Steelers fans are so impatient. We fucking are. That's the one thing I kind of hate about this whole thing. Not the fact that I'm doing content creation stuff, not the fact that I'm talking about it. The one thing I do hate is we are in an instant gratification society right now. If your player, your quarterback, the head of the team is not playing well, we throw him under the bus and we say, you know what? Fuck it. Like, he sucks. We're going to get a new guy. You can't consistently get new guys all the time. You have to go through that adversity and go through the pain that he may suck for the first year and go through that and then see what happens down the line. If you consistently say that he sucks, he's terrible, then you wouldn't, if you were the organization, you would go and get a quarterback every single year. And what teams do that? The Browns do that. The Jags were doing that until they got this guy. The Jets were doing, I've done that. And Zach Wilson, I don't think he's even playing. The teams like that go and get quarterbacks every single year. And the second they start to fail is the fans jump on them and they want someone else. The instant gratification of these fans is all-time high. What have you done for me? You need to do it now. And otherwise, you suck, you're out. I can't handle it. Big time. Surround pick with better players and coaches. I agree. I 100% agree. Big Ben is a Hall of Famer and he just barely... Exactly. Good point. And Travis is a Chiefs fan. Good point from Travis being a Chiefs fan. Big Ben just got these guys to the playoffs. And of course, Big Ben was older, but it's going to happen. See on the field, we could same record, but I still go. But how do you? The thing is, as you can see, hear the fucking thing going off. The thing to me is, and this has been a long thing. I don't understand how we can competently assess Kenny Pickett at this stage. 1, 7 games. 2, rookie. Right. 3, offense is bad. So how can we assess someone in the parameters? We're almost, in some certain degree, we are tying Kenny. If our judgment of Kenny, we're labeling him a bust or whatever he is, or bad quarterback or average quarterback with those 3 things. As you can hear the fucking thing go off. I've said what I need to say. Exactly right. If the Steelers listen to people say Kenny sucks after 7 games, we'll be drafting QBs every year. And we don't do that. You don't do that. You just have to. And I agree, Steel Girl. He's gotten better every week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And big time too. There's veteran leadership too, right? Veteran leadership needs. This team is missing something. We thought that Najee Harris was going to be the leader. Not happening. They're surrounded by young people. Offensive line is young. Quarterback is young, of course, right? Difference between college and this guy. I'm not saying he's a savior, but all about this is young. But I will put a poll out right now, and I will feed the results tomorrow, somehow, some way, on the Drunk Turkey Show. So look out for Steel Nation Australia, put a poll up, and I'll say what is the biggest failure for this offense. And I will list Kenny, I will list the O-line, I will list Matt Canada. And I guarantee you will get Matt Canada. That is the point and the transition of all failure is that point right there. That's it. Name a quarterback who started in. I don't even care. I legit don't care. These questions to me, I don't care. Like, if that is so far away from me, I don't care. All I'm focusing on is Kenny's getting better over. And you guys are saying Josh Allen, fantastic. That's great. All I'm saying is I don't care about these questions that are the fundamental question here is missing the opportunity right in front of you. Right? Do I have a picture of Matt Canada? Probably not. That's the problem. I don't have it. The problem is this fella. That's the problem right there. He is the biggest problem to this team. Run, pass, and his whole association to the Steelers, that is the biggest problem. And there's a guy outside fucking doing this. All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to end it. That's too long. Where am I? Fuck, this thing outside. Sorry I swore a lot, but I honestly can't see your point, Daniel. I really can't. And we'll talk tomorrow, and I won't swear tomorrow, but I'll do a poll today, and I can't see your point. I don't understand how you're bashing on Kenny when he's had 7 games. He's a rookie. I always had, yeah. Hey, man, I don't see it. I don't see it, and we'll see what happens. All right, thank you, Drunk. Thank you, Travis. Oh, my goodness. You can hear that shit? Steeler girl, Michael. I'll see you later. I'll put the poll up now. I'll see you later.